Namaste, my friends. Welcome or welcome back. My name is Ekaterina, for the one who know. Hi, once again, for the one that are maybe new to the channel. Hello, I'm a yoga teacher, and since quite recently, I'm also the certified meditation teacher. Just passed my exam a couple of weeks ago, and now I have much more knowledge, let's say, but also not only practical, the one that I had before, but also theoretical, tackling the point of meditation, stress, anxiety, all this stuff from different points of view. So I will be sharing a lot from my studies, maybe from my practices as well with you, hoping that it will be useful. So if you're interested, please stay watching. And today we will be talking about stress and anxiety. I'm pretty sure that at least once in your lifetime you were stressed and you felt anxiety in your life. Or maybe right now you have your loved one or loved ones that are coping with stress, with burnout, with anxiety in their life. How to understand that you or someone else is stressed, is anxious, and what actually to do with that. This video will be all about understanding, seeing it, and helping or coping or improving your state. So continue watching. As I told before, I'm pretty sure that you know what stress is, what anxiety is. But sometimes, we have in our mind the picture of the person who is angry, who's shouting, breaking the dishes or something like this, and we say, oh, he or she is stressed. But it's not always the case. It's one of the four main characteristics or main signals to understand that the person is stressed. This is aggression, physical aggression, for example, verbal. But it's not it, because one of the not that obvious signs of stress is when the person is completely in the negative mood, when everything is bad, like the glass is half empty, when whatever happening in the world, person is not capable to see the beauty. So everything is in the gray colors, everything is kind of like in the dark, all this gloomy state of mind. So this is another one. The third one, for example, it's not giving the value. Not giving the value to anything. For example, maybe you got a promotion, or maybe you did something great, but you don't see that, you don't perceive it, and you don't really appreciate. But not only what you do, but everyone else. Like, everyone else is bad, maybe you are amazing, and everyone else is horrible. This is also the sign of stress. And you shouldn't think that it's okay, because technically, there are some people who live in the constant, this aggression towards everyone else, not acceptance of everyone else. And most probably, in the most part of the cases, this is because the person is very deeply stressed during the very, very long time. And the fourth one, the last but not least, is the neglect. Not the neglect, but when the person is telling that no, everything is fine. It's the same like with the addict people. Oh, I don't have a problem. So when the person tells, I don't have a problem, everything is fine, maybe everything is fine, but maybe it's not. So sometimes we also lie to ourselves. We portray the world not the way it is, or we portray the situation not the way they are, or our life, or our spouse, our kids. So not being able to see the world for how it really is. Okay, these were the four ones, as I told, aggression, physical, verbal, mental, and apathy. It's when everything is bad, gloomy, and sad. The third one is not seeing the value in anything and anyone. And the fourth is actually telling that everything is fine and not seeing the problem. And you can see it maybe in yourself, maybe in others. I will be looking at my notes, not to forget to tell you anything. Okay. What we can do actually, because I think you're here for that. We understand I'm stressed or someone else is stressed. What to do with that? Because simply knowing that really is not solving the issue. The first, one of the best maybe ways that I know is meditation, because this helps you not only in the short run but also in the long run. On my channel I have for now maybe one meditation video, like just 5 minutes. This will help you already a lot to reduce the stress. Also some of the pranayama techniques, of the breathing techniques, they also help you to balance. So the first is, of course, meditation. It helps us being in the present moment, to appreciate what we have, to appreciate people who are around you, the situations, no matter how good or bad they are, to see the value and the purpose of everything, and simply to understand ourselves better. Because stress usually comes from not understanding ourselves in the first place, but everything else. Refusing to be in this situation, refusing to be the way we are, not acceptance. The second one is the part of the first one. It's metta meditation. I think I will do the video on that. Technically, it's loving kindness meditation. It's sending the love, kindness, and happiness, and wishing all the best to your friend, your loved one, mentally or out loud, in the meditation, or even to the people that we don't like or we hate. So there are different stages, there are different phrases that you can use. This is one of the meditation that Buddha was suggesting himself, quite famous. But it's very important to mention that if the person is in danger or feels that he or she is in danger, meditation won't really maybe even work that much. Because first of all, we need to fulfill the basic needs for security. So if the person is stressed, you feel that he or she is trembling, or maybe you feel not secure, not safe, maybe meditation is not for you, especially meditation with the voice. The third one, as I told already, are the breathing techniques or pranayama practices. And for example, one of the best is Ujjayi pranayama over there in the link below, and also Nadi Shodhana. These practices are so easy, and everyone can do them. There is no restriction, especially if you're not holding your breath, doing more complicated versions, but also not to forget about full yogic breath, for example, or the belly breathing. There were so many studies made, and all of them tell the same thing, that when we're stressed, we breathe with our clavicle region or the upper part of the chest. Only when we're relaxed, we breathe more with full volume of our lungs, and mainly with our diaphragm, when the diaphragm is lowering and raising, yes? So, full yogic breath, belly, chest, clavicle, clavicle, chest, belly, for example, or even trying to do these breaths with the belly, enlarging it and relaxing it. This will help as well. Another breathing technique is called 4-7-8. It's when we do the inhale, 4 counts, 1, 2, 3, 4, inhale. We hold for 7 counts. And 8 counts, we do the exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Please be very careful if you have very high blood pressure, constant, or you have a headache. Don't do this practice, because all of the pranayama, all of the breathing techniques with the retention of the breath, with the inhale or exhale, technically tend to increase our blood pressure. So if you know that in you, full yogic breath. Another one is called the cyclical breath with the focus on the inhale. How it's done? Well, first of all, it reduces the tension, it reduces anxiety and stress. And it was invented actually not that long ago, but it is quite famous, mainly in America, actually, in the circles of the psychiatrists and psychologist as well. So we are making the half inhale, like only to the half of the volume of your lungs. So inhale half, hold, inhale a bit more, and exhale through the mouth. The other way to reduce stress and anxiety is to do hatha yoga or any other type of yoga technically, depending on the way you are, because maybe, like hot yoga or Bikram yoga, when you do it with the very high extreme temperatures, will only add to the stress, because you put your body in stress. So I would recommend anyway to do or the classical hatha yoga, or maybe vinyasa but slow, or yin yoga, something calming, something that makes you more relaxed. So this is perfect, but hatha yoga in general, it's a kind of like magical pill. I have so many videos of that. You can choose 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 45, 1 hour, 1 hour and a half, anything, and see how you feel after. And also, if you would like, please comment below this video or below the video of the yoga practice, if you feel more relaxed and calm. And I'm sure that 100% of people, or at least 99.9, will exactly feel this way. Another one that I would strongly recommend, and it's proven to reduce stress and anxiety, are running and walking. So I'm against running personally, and I know a lot of professional athletes who strongly not recommend it, telling that unfortunately it does more bad than good. But if you're a runner, if you really enjoy it, if you love it, by all means, we're different. So everyone will find their own way of tackling this problem. So running. Otherwise, walking. Better if you can walk in the nature, in the park, in the forest, near the lake, near the fountain, or near the waterfall, anything that is connected with nature, because nature already makes us calm and more quiet. Next one that we can talk about is sauna or the bathhouse and massage. As most probably everyone tried at least sauna once, you know that after that you're very relaxed, you almost feel very sleepy. So this can be the way of tackling the stress and anxiety as well. Also, try everything, because there is no one pill, that fits all. That's why I list you so many things. You try them, you see how they work, and the moment you are really stressed, anxious, you can use this tool knowing that it works and help yourself. Next one is drinking a lot of water. Water is neutralizing the energy inside of our body and outside. So for example, also not drinking the water, of course, as much as you can, but usually 2 liters per day, something like this, of clean water. But also the great thing that you can do is to have a swim in the lake. If you don't have a lake or the ocean or anything, shower or the tub will completely do. It takes away the energy, the excess energy that we have. So sometimes also when you feel very anxious, but anxious in the good sense, unfortunately, water also calms that feeling. So it neutralizes, it harmonizes the energy and the feeling in our body. So if you feel unbalanced, water, the swim, that would be absolutely perfect. Next one is communicating only to people who are supportive, who are positive, who are not stressed, and who are not adding to your stress, and decreasing the contact with the people who are the opposite, which actually makes sense, but so often we don't really do that, especially to ourselves, thinking, oh no, we have to communicate with this person because maybe it's a relative. But first help yourself, then help the others. Another way to tackle the stress and anxiety is to do the routine stuff. For example, dusting the carpet, cleaning the kitchen, washing the dishes, if it makes you more calm than stressed. Because for some people, cleaning, like for me, it adds to my level of stress. It depends how you are, the way you are. For example, my husband loves doing it, and by all means, I'll leave him to that. Okay, next one is informational detox, or detox, better to say. Especially the news. Don't try not to watch the TV or read the news, Twitter, Instagram, all this stuff. It counts, so all social media, for one day if you feel that you're stressed or anxious. And you will see the huge change in that. I know that in so many schools they have the day of informational silence, where the kids also try to encourage their parents not to use the phones, for example, for the whole day, 24 hours. And you can find so many ways to communicate, to connect, and to have the better relationship with your loved ones as well, if you have them. Or even with yourself, to read the book, for example, not the book about like maybe murders or something, but more spiritual if you can and if you would like. Next one, of course, it's any type of hobby. So it can be from knitting to painting, anything that you love. Maybe you also love practicing yoga. It's also your hobby, perfect. Or gardening, that is, for example, for me. Anything that helps you to improve your motor skills, like small, movements with your fingers. So something with the hands. This is kind of like very important. So the more small activities you're making, for example, I plant, I gather the stuff and I take some of the grass not needed from the lawn. This helps me really to calm down and makes me much more happy. Next one is singing. We can put here, for example, also mantra chanting. And I have my favorite and the most ancient, actually, mantra chanting over here. I will put the link below if you would like. Also, mantra Om. I explain how to chant it. You can chant it for 5 minutes. We also do it before and after my classes. It helps you to, first of all, change the vibrations inside of you and outside, and the stress, as we know by a lot of pictures of the aura that were made in the scientific labs, that during the stress our aura is quite ugly, let's say. So in our head usually, and somewhere else in the body, usually the heart or the belly, there are these weird red flames, kind of like peaks. So in order to reduce these peaks, mantra can be used perfectly, and there's statistics already involved here. There were studies made before and after, and they saw that the aura is changing, so the vibrations, because technically aura, it's a kind of like a weird word maybe, but the frequency and the electricity of our body is a bit changing after simply singing for just couple minutes, couple times. The longer you sing, the longer is the effect and the stronger it is. You can also sing in the choir, for example, or simply at home. If you love it, it's perfect. You're changing, as I told, the vibrations inside and outside, and also you will have simply the much better kind of like atmosphere to live in. Please don't sing anything which is very aggressive, I don't know, heavy metal or whatever, because this only adds, of course, to the stress. And the last one, but not least, is psychologists. Are psychologists. I'm not against psychologists. I believe that they're doing a great job, and for some people that can be maybe the only way kind of out from the stress and anxiety. So if nothing else works, which I believe actually everyone should first try to work on themselves, try to help yourself, because then you will have all of the tools. You don't need to rely on anyone. And then if it doesn't work, or maybe you want to do it in the parallel mode, like ask or go to the psychologist to help. Of course, there are the conditions of the deep depression where maybe you should recommend the person to go to the psychologist instead of trying all these things. But as I told you before, there are some techniques, for example, even simple breathing, with the belly. And with the stress on the exhale, long exhale, the longer the exhale, the more calm you are. Even simple breath, breathing this way can already change the way you feel. Okay, in terms of helping others, it's very important that, first of all, if you should be in the resourceful state. So you should not be stressed or anxious. Because if you are anxious yourself, if you're not sure about whether to help or how am I helping, if you're not sure kind of like that whether you should help, don't. If anyway you would like to try and this person is very important and this person doesn't want to rely on anyone else's help, do it. But as I told you, it's important that you are at your 100%. Another thing that you need to be in the present moment. So don't be with the phone or somewhere else. You can sit or stand near the person and kind of like tuning towards the person, looking, maybe holding hands, hugging. I don't know if this person likes. Gentle squeeze or cuddling if it's your husband or wife or the child, Another thing that you should be at the same level with this person. So if it's a child, you need to go lower, for example. Yes, if it's your friend, husband, family member, if the person is sitting, you should sit. If the person is standing, you should stand. So these things, technically from psychology, but a lot also from yoga. Next one is you need to focus on the calming of the atmosphere around and on yourself, on the person itself. So in the very beginning, don't try to help. Try to calm this person. And in order to do that, you need to create the contact in any way. For example, like using very, very small phrases, telling that I understand how you feel, I see what is going on, without like poetry or whatever. Very simple words, very sharp words, and very short sentences, because when the person is stressed or anxious, he or she has really some difficulty in comprehending long phrases. In the end, even if you're not professional psychologist, if you're simply the friend already, these may help, because sometimes people simply need to feel that someone understands them, someone listens to them, someone supports them, and there is someone that is always there. When this contact is achieved, when this person hears you, then you can start tackling the problem itself. And depending on the problem, the solution can be different. Maybe you will have it, maybe you won't, but at least you can talk and give different options, because often during the stress and anxiety, it's very important to make the person understand that there is not one path from this situation, to look from the outside on this situation and to understand that you can do this, you can do that, you can choose to do something or choose to do nothing. This was about helping others. About helping yourself, I believe that the best possible thing that you can do, honestly, maybe I'm a bit very yogic in this point of view. I believe the best way actually not to be stressed too much and too often and anxious is to practice meditation and practice yoga, because it helps us feel ourselves much better and intervene or change something before it starts happening. We feel when something is going in the wrong direction. I hope that this small outlook on the strengths and anxiety was helpful. So we talked about how to see in yourself and in others if they're stressed, how to decrease or tackle this problem, of stress and anxiety. What are the tools that you can use? And I remind you, try to use as many as you can and see which one are working, and then continue simply working on this particular one, because the more we make this path in our neurons, this connection stronger, the faster will be the reaction. So the more, for example, you're singing and calming yourself this way, if it calms you, the next time you will be stressed, for example, you start singing, immediately the stress will go away. Don't imagine stress to go away and anxiety in 5 seconds. Some time is needed, but it doesn't mean that it won't happen in 5 minutes as well. And we also talked about how to help others to cope with stress and anxiety. Some simple tools that I hope will help you. For me, it's very important that this channel is not only about yoga meditation, but also about your life, something that you're facing in your life and in the life of people that surround you, what you can do with this to live a more ecological, more productive life and making this world a better place for yourself and for everyone else living in it. So I thank you once again for watching this video. Please comment below if it was useful, if you're already using some of the techniques that I mentioned, and how they're working. I will be very grateful for any feedback, any words of encouragement, or maybe even not encouragement. Maybe you're not agreeing with something that I'm saying. I will be very grateful to also learn from you. Thank you so much once again, and I see you in my other videos very soon. Namaste.